Hi folks, and welcome to CRK TV. Today we're coming to you from a very special location, and that is the global headquarters of Carl Zeiss AG, manufacturers of Zeiss cinema lenses and a host of other products. In fact, we could say it's the world's best optics manufacturer. Today I'm joined by Christophe Casanave, who manages the portfolio of cinema products for Zeiss. Christophe, thank you for having us, our host here in Germany. So the location of where we are right now is a town called Oberkochen. It's a picturesque town, but perhaps not an obvious choice for a factory. Can you give us an introduction to the area and perhaps how it became the home of Carl Zeiss?
Yes. So we are based in the south of Germany, in a very small town, like 5,000 inhabitants. So it's really unusual to have a company with more than 30,000 employees worldwide having their headquarters in this kind of city. Originally, Zeiss was founded in Jena, which is a city in the former Eastern Germany. So when it grew before World War II, and after World War II, it was in the eastern part of Germany, so under control of the UdSSR. And Americans thought that Zeiss was a very strategic and important company, and they proposed key engineers to move and to continue their work under their protection. So around 130 key engineers, the brain of the company, got the offer from the Americans to fill in a pickup with whatever they need. So nobody took any furniture, they just took measurement instruments. And they drove those guys near this place where there was a big US Army base, and basically stopped here and put them under their protection. And the company restarted from their side. In fact, during the whole Cold War, there have been two Carl Zeiss. Carl Zeiss in Western Germany and Carl Zeiss in Jena, the original one. And interestingly, the Eastern German Carl Zeiss thought they would win because they got the right to pretend they are Carl Zeiss Jena. And the Carl Zeiss here, they had to mention they are Carl Zeiss West Germany. So, in fact, the guys in the Eastern Germany won, but West Germany became a kind of, for every manufactured goods, it was a quality standard.
Of course.
So in fact, the guys here had the better, could prove the better quality just because they had to name themselves Carl Zeiss West Germany. So, and that's how the company grew here. After the reunion of both Germanies, Zeiss was of course one very symbolic company. They reunited the company and both company became one again, with all the difficulties to bring this company back to the success. Is just going in one direction, growing in terms of portfolio and in terms of employee and success, I would say. Yeah.
What a fascinating history. The thing that struck my colleagues and I as we were coming into the factory and the office today is the sheer size of the place here. It's absolutely massive. How many people are working in the factory headquarters? And how many people specifically are focused on the Cine lens products? And is there any cross-pollination between these departments?
In total, there are around 8,000 employees, growing from year to year. There are some departments that recruit up to 500 people per year, especially in the semiconductor manufacturing. They have targets and they have issues to reach their targets. So 8,000 people. The cinema division is by far one of the smallest parts because we are part of consumer optics. We share resources with our colleagues from the consumer optics. So for example, optical design, mechanical design, we share some engineers. And to continue with this, of course, the big advantage of a company like Zeiss that is 100% dedicated to optic and precision is whenever we need to do something where perhaps we don't have this competence inside the company, inside the business group, is we can grab resources from a central R&D, and we also profit from the whole infrastructure. The most relevant one is optical design, because the majority of the optic manufacturer, they will rely on software, simulation software. You know, optical design is something you simulate before you build a lens. They will rely on software that are available on the market for everybody. But because of some of our division that require something very special, Zeiss is developing its own Zeiss internal simulation software that has much more feature than any other software, and that's not available to anybody else. It's 100% internal.
Absolutely. So Zeiss has made some iconic products in the cinema industry. Why does Zeiss continue to put so much effort into the cine business? As you said, it's a smaller size division compared to the rest of the company. And where do you see the cine business going in the next 10 years?
So there are different reasons why Zeiss continue for the cinema business. First of all, we do manufacture microscopes. We manufacture machines to measure airplanes, parts, etc. So these are all things that are super important, especially also the semiconductor part. We produce optics that allow you to produce the Apple M2, for example, and no other manufacturer produce these optics. So basically, everybody relies on Zeiss, but nobody knows this. And with cinema, you are visible, you know? So it's really a part that really carries the brand in a very positive way on top of this, because Zeiss, a couple of years ago, decided to concentrate only on parts that are really positive. So for example, medical, and withdraw some defense also elements. So we concentrate on medical, we concentrate on precision for the measurement, and cinema is of course something very, very positive because it affects everybody's life. So this is one aspect. The other aspect is of course because the cinema is a part that's growing, and not only growing in one direction, but that becomes very diverse in terms of technology, where we see we have more things to do, you know, than just manufacturing lenses. So that's why we believe also that's a business that's important for us.
That's fantastic to hear. And in front of us is one of our favorite products, and that's the Radiance lens. What makes the Zeiss Radiance lens stand out from the rest of the market, and what makes it unique?
Zeiss was a long time associated with lenses that are very perfect.
Yes.
Very sharp.
Precise.
Sometimes clinical. I will tell the word. Sometimes clinical. We will never do vintage lenses because nobody ever did vintage lenses. People just did the best they could. So we continue to do precise lenses, but with a bit more of flair and beauty. So this was the Supreme. So they are sharp, but not too sharp. They allow to shoot beautiful skin tones. And then we said, okay, how can we go one up? You know, make something even more special. And we decided to do a special edition of the Supremes where the DOP could choose if you want to add some flair, very controlled, or not. So if you use the Radiance in normal lighting environment, they will just behave like a normal lens, a bit warmer tone, color tone, but normal. But if you put some lights, so punctual lights, you would have really a very nice flare. And the very special thing compared to any other, let's say, vintage lens is no matter the focal, this flare will be very similar and very consistent. So you as a DOP, you don't need to think, oh, I will use the 40 mil. Then if I change, I will not get the same type of flare. No, you can just change your focal. You will have the same type of flare if you want to flare. So that's the very special thing with this. And this was really an achievement to do this.
It's fantastic to hear. So we went down and we saw the production line of lenses today. How does a product get from being developed to the production line and delivered to the market?
Okay, so basically it all starts, first of all, with a specification. So there is a need from group of customers, from DOP, understanding what they want and trying to specify and produce this. So specing a lens, telling, okay, I need a lens that will have this T-stop, that will have this focal, that will have this kind of character, this look. Defining the look is very subjective, but actually the hard trick is put this subjectivity into figures. So because the developer, you will not tell him, make me this look. You will have to tell him, I want this type of sharpness and in figures. So this is, for example, my part as a product manager. Then the whole thing starts. So you have the optical designers, they will make proposal, compute optical designer, and this is the beauty of today. They can simulate a lens completely virtually. And they can even render images through a non-existing lens. So you could see if the look is the one you want. So basically, you come back to the subjectivity. And then once you decide, okay, this is the design I want, then they will develop the whole mechanics around, the whole ergonomics. Ergonomics is also something very important that they develop sometimes in parallel because we specify this. And then they put this together. It's still all on the computer. And then comes the phase of doing a prototype. In the past, you would do 2 or 3 prototypes because you would experiment, you would fix. Nowadays, we are so precise in the simulation computation that you do 1 prototype and normally it's exactly what you were expecting. Once the prototypes are done, the prototype is built by engineers. So people that really super qualified, that could really tweak the stuff. At the end, once the prototype is qualified, you need to ensure it can be built by any, qualified person in the production line that you saw today morning. And this we call pre-production. So basically, we would build a small amount of lenses with the same condition into our production so they can get trained, they understand how to build it, and they learn the product. And once this is done, we go to the normal production. And then it comes to the customer.
Fantastic. And it's a fascinating process to watch in action, watching the manufacturing. So just one final question for you, Christophe. Obviously, so many brilliant products have been produced by Carl Zeiss over the years. Is there one product in particular that you would highlight as your favorite or say is one of the most iconic products to come out of the Carl Zeiss factory?
I don't want to be old-fashioned, but if you ask around you, the people, if they tell you, give me the name of a product from Carl Zeiss, it will be the Super Speed Mark II or Mark III.
Fantastic.
It's 40 years old. We don't service them anymore because we have simply no parts. And last year at Sundance Festival, 8 films were shot with Super Speed Mark III.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Absolutely incredible. Still being used to this day. All right, Christophe, thank you very much for having us. We've thoroughly enjoyed our time here at the factory. That brings an end to our tour. So I just say to everyone at home, stay tuned for all the latest updates from Carl Zeiss. We hope you've enjoyed the insights and we look forward to seeing you back in Australia. Thank you very much.